We wake up, it's the first thing we see. We go to bed, it is the last thing we see, letting it control our daily lives. We can do anything without checking it every minute. What is it, you may ask? It is social media. According to data, as many as 31.4% of teenagers are addicted to the internet. In fact, 7 out of 10 young women are addicted to social media, and 9 out of 10 young men are addicted to online games. From the high level addiction rate, as a teenager, I also felt that. That's why I chose to speak about why we should use social media less, why is it to be addictive, how the effect, and ways we can overcome these problems. So based on the We Are Social report, the age group of 16 until 24 years in the category of women in this age range, the average use of social media is 193 minutes per day, while the category of men is 163 minutes per day. So the data shows that teenagers have a high level of social media addiction. In general, the cause of social media addiction is increased brain dopamine, which gives a feeling of happiness after someone accesses a social media. As a result, the brain presupposes this activity as a fun thing that needs to be done again or repeatedly. Receiving likes and comments from the social media that trigger feelings of satisfaction, having excessive curiosity about public figures, feeling able to express oneself freely is also a supporting factor for social media addiction in teenagers. Well, social media addiction has bad impacts, especially for health. Based on a study published in journal Computers and Human Behavior, people who reported using 7 or more social media platforms were 3 times more likely to experience high level of generalized anxiety symptoms than those who only used about two social media platforms. Several studies have also found a link between depression and social media use. One of them is a study involving more than 700 students found that symptoms of depression, for example low mood, low self-esteem, and hopelessness, are related to the quality of the interaction briefly. The results also showed that there were more negative interaction in those with higher level of depressive symptoms when compared with those with lower levels of depressive symptoms. A 2012 study in American Journal of Public Health revealed that cyberbullying and bullying in social media are the reason for the increased risk of suicide. So from looking at the data that I have mentioned, that the negative effects of social media such as depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, and loneliness can cause a person to have poor mental health, which can lead to suicide. And social media has bad impacts for our physical health. Kemenke.co.id stated that social media increases emotional and cognitive arousal higher at night. The light from the cell phone screens or other gadgets can interfere with a person's sleep quality. In fact, lack of sleep itself is known to be a risk to health, such as increasing the risk of heart disease. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, another effect of lazy exercise is easy to get sick. Doing regular exercise can improve the performance of white bloods, which have a function to fight bacteria that enter the body. But now, how can we fix this? By looking at this data and studies, we can infer that the less we use social media, the more likely we are be able to happier and increases our self-esteem. Research shows a link between heavy social media use and feelings of social isolation and loneliness. It found those who spend the most time on social media, more than 2 hours a day, had twice the odds of perceived social isolation than those who said they spent half an hour or less. And Child Mind Institute stated that social media affect teenagers' mental health negatively by limiting direct contact with peers and encouraging constant comparison online, which can lead to low self-esteem, anxiety, and depression. So it can be concluded by just looking at this study. We can increase our happiness and self-esteem by limiting our time on social media. And for those experiencing cyberbullying, it can be reduced the amounts of cyberbullying they experience. So what is the big picture here? Is that social media can give bad impacts to our lives such as anxiety, depression, loneliness, and low self-esteem, and also affect our physical health. We can fix this by turning off our phones, closing our computers, and refusing to click on that notification. If we reduce the amount of time we are on social media, the happier we will be and the higher self-esteem we will have. So it's enough for me. Thank you for your kind attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.